Hello and welcome to this webinar on your ultimate life's purpose, your deeper destiny. I'm Marianne McGuire and I'm so happy you're here with me. So just a few suggestions before we get started. I'm covering a lot of great information. I don't want you to miss anything. I want you to get the most out of this webinar. So please turn off mobile phones and any distractions like Facebook, and please take notes if you feel like it. What I'm sharing is the heart of my work, and each slide builds upon the last, so please follow without skipping or you just won't receive the benefits of this life-changing information. And I'm sharing something very special, only available for those of you who are here and stay until the end of this webinar, so please stay until the end. And if you have any fears about not finding your life's purpose, this is the webinar you've been waiting for. Now I'm going to share a lot with you now. And there are different layers. I don't want to just give you the exercise for finding your life's purpose and share with you what I found out about your deeper destiny without also giving you some foundation to it, which is crucial. That's why I'm going to be talking about intuition and the trap spiritual seekers can fall into, and what your fears and concerns are, because I really want this to be of enormous benefit to you. So speaking of fears and concerns, some fears and concerns you might have, perhaps living your life without having explored and experienced who you really are and the life you know is available to you. That your everyday life will be consumed by mind chatter and mundane routine, and you won't be able to experience the juice, the creativity of what lights you up and turns you on. Living by default rather than being your power to choose the life you desire to live, and being in your power, but it's all about being your power. Not expressing yourself or standing in your power, be it in pleasure or work. Never being able to let go of things that aren't working in your life or your relationships that don't serve you. Not living from who you really are and ending up old and unfulfilled when you know in your heart there's more. So, what are we going to cover? Firstly, why listen to me? I'm going to share my unique spiritual experience age 6. Then I'm going to go into the 2 types of life's purpose, how to find your life's purpose, and what your ultimate life purpose is. Then I'm going to cover who this information is for, what the problem is, how it affects you, and what the solution is. And I'm going to share a hugely effective, simple tool for letting go of struggle, another tool that enables you to connect to divine guidance and discover your life's purpose. Another tool that's at the heart of my work, and I don't mean to be presumptuous, but it's what you've been searching for. It's what I call your deeper destiny, your ultimate fulfillment. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time to join me on this webinar. I am so grateful that you're here. I feel that it will be helpful for you to know some of my background so that you can feel secure about this information and how it relates to you and your life's purpose and deeper destiny. So my work comes from a direct experience of being awareness, which was a connected state of oneness with all when I was a child of about 6 years of age. I had this profound spiritual experience of divine love and pure awareness. I remember standing on my own in the kitchen of my childhood home, and I became aware of a knowing that appeared to me. It seemed to be situated above me, while also being everywhere, and it flowed through my being. I had an expansive knowing of what is, and I'd been given the opportunity to peek behind the curtain, so to speak, of illusion. I was being shown certain fundamental universal truths behind this reality, about how life works, the nature of time, the nature of reality, of polarity, and about who we really are. And I experienced being pure awareness, and it was more real than I can describe. The experience went far beyond words, far beyond linear concepts. And it remained with me until the perfect time in my life when it presented itself to me again so that I could apply it to my life, embody it, and then shared with you in order to fulfill our purpose. Now, although I wouldn't have been able to articulate what happened at that age, it was like I, the child, was witness to what my ageless being experienced. And the fundamental piece of this experience was that love is all there is. It's the most powerful force, so to speak, in the universe and beyond. So to give you a flavour of what was revealed to me, as I said, love is all there is. I was aware that there existed something so far beyond this physical reality, so inexplicably beautiful, even beyond our idea of heaven, and that it is all around us and within us. And I knew that this physical reality, where we live our everyday lives, was only the tiniest part of what is true. Beauty surrounds everything, and we'd be awestruck if we could comprehend the truth of it. Linear time does not exist. The past and the future are not actually real. There is only now. And I knew that the past, present, and future all happened in the present moment, and that there is only one eternal moment. I felt all of this. It wasn't intellectual. This physical realm is not real. It's an image coming from what is real, which is awareness, oneness, love. Only love is real. And when you realize that this reality is an illusion, or dream would be a better word, it takes the weight off. Because heavy emotions like anxiety and fear don't seem so real. And you can begin to allow your true self to shine through. Beyond duality lies freedom. Love is in the space of everything. It is the glue that holds everything together. I remember what that felt like, just receiving that and knowing that. So when the experience was over, I mean, it's never over, it's always here for us because it's what we are. But I continued my day as if nothing had happened. I never spoke about it to anyone until several years ago. I accepted thoroughly that it was just a part of me. It wasn't separate from me and therefore not out of the norm. And then similar experiences happened again over the years. For all of my life, I remember knowing the truth about who we really are. So oneness wasn't a concept for me. It was a very real foundation for my life. I always knew that we are love, we are light, and that there's only oneness. There's no separation. And I could feel it before I was conditioned, even as a baby. I could see people for who they really were. So I never completely lost my memory of where I came from. And I really cherish this knowing now. And the fact that I still remember, because I appreciate that it's pure information. I wasn't taught it. I hadn't read it before. And it's facilitating my mission to nudge you into remembrance of the magnificence of who you really are, so that you can live from freedom and ease and peace and joy and just be yourself. So in contrast to that expansive experience, I went through my childhood feeling deflated and boxed in and contracted most of the time. I was very loving, but I wasn't received by my family, whom I loved dearly, which was lonely. But I always had this foundational knowing which supported me, thank God, as I went through the tough times, feeling everyone else's stuff, not just my own, and thinking that I had to heal it for them. And throughout my young life, I wasn't allowed to express myself freely. I had to be obedient and quiet and nice, always. And due to how I was conditioned, I suspended my power to play the game, so to speak, although I never lost my innate joy. So because I was squashed and trained to feel powerless, I, of course, didn't integrate this knowing until years later. And when I was in my teens, I longed to feel a more immediate connection with spirit because I knew that problems didn't exist here. It felt indescribably good and peaceful and unexpectedly normal. And I'd felt it on different occasions since my early childhood experience, this tantalizing glimpses of beautiful light that existed within and without. And I always knew with unshakable certainty that it dwelt within me and everyone else, and that I was connected to a loving divine intelligence. But yet in my everyday life, it seemed more distant when I was going through challenging times, and it just left me feeling lonely and disconnected. So I wanted to know how I could feel the connection with spirit in my everyday life whenever I wanted to. So because I knew what was real, I was driven to explore, mystery and energy fields and my guides. And I spent the following 20 plus years searching for the simplest and most practical way to reconnect with my divine source and my true self. Of course, I didn't follow my knowing that it was within me all along, but that was all part of my purpose. That was all very much meant to be. I remember I wanted to be a healer when I was 19, but that felt off, and I thought I might find it through art. And now I realized that all along I was looking to connect with divine light through art, because I used to paint light all the time. I still do. But I still felt lost, as if I hadn't found my true path. So after years of studying different types of energy healing, I became a Reiki master, and I was certified in neuro-linguistic programming, and I studied many more healing modalities. I was brought back to the knowing that even though these are all fascinating, what I knew as a child before I started the journey still stood true and was the power that caused the transformation in my life and later in the lives of others. So one day I felt as if something important was building within me, and I asked my guides the following question. Out of everything I've been through, and out of everything I've studied and discovered, after 2 decades of searching for the answer, what is the most important thing we can do to find what we're looking for? And I received the answer from the sea of awareness, and the information pertaining to it unfurled in my being. It was, let go of struggle and know who you really are. And the specific way that I was to help people using my childhood experience was born. I was shown steps that took me from living in a contracted way much of the time to living in an expanded state of joy and peace and excitement, being able to deal instantly with any challenges I was experiencing. I reclaimed my birthright of power and expression. My life transformed, and I felt what it was like to be free of the seeming cement-like reality of struggle. So after I received the answer to that question, I was guided to put down the information so that I could help others. And over time, the 3 Stages of Awareness program was born. So the structure was there, including life's purpose and the importance of your deeper destiny and living that. And I used it in every area of my life, even from being terrified of childbirth to giving birth naturally, drug-free, pain-free, at home, twice. When I practiced the information I was given, I fully experienced in my body that I am awareness. It was as if I had come out of the fog of the mind and stepped into the clarity of the heart. I stepped out of that box I had been put in and into my true power. And this is my desire for you. Which leads me to, why am I sharing this? Why am I sharing this information? Why am I doing this webinar? For you. Because you never gave up. And I just want to take a moment to honor that, to honor you, to witness what you've been through to get here. I remember standing in my kitchen last year, and I was connecting energetically with my ideal clients, and I felt a wave of love that brought tears to my eyes. I can feel it now. And I realized I had so much love for you, for those who were drawn to my work, because you never gave up. It's a tough path, and you could have chosen the easier way and done what everybody else does, but you kept searching, and I respect you for that. I love you so much for that. And I know what it's like to feel lost and constantly question, what's my path? Am I on the right path? For years, I know that's exhausting. I know the pain and frustration that comes with searching for your purpose, searching for a connection to who you really are and with the divine. I knew that connection. Then I felt I'd lost it, and my path was to find the way to establish it again and share that path with you, because I wanted you to avoid, the aching and the longing. I know that longing and sadness that you feel, as if you're separated from your true love, from your source. You can feel the love, but it seems out of reach. And so you end up unconsciously looking outside of yourself for fulfillment and satisfaction. I've been there, I'm out the other side. And it's my desire to save you the pain and longing and frustration and disappointment. I mean, I had no idea what my life purpose was when I was younger, and I pressured myself so much for years. I just don't want that for you. I couldn't bear to see how people were suffering and not living the life they were born to live when they have such power and wisdom within them. Feeling lost and isolated because you feel disconnected is a very real issue that causes a lot of suffering. So I devoted my adult life to this, to find a solution, to help others connect with and live from their truth, to live their life's purpose and their deeper destiny. Because I know that when you learn to connect with your higher self and with your intuitive guidance, everything untangles and feels better. And this is how you find your purpose. And I know from the experience I had as a small child, fundamentally there is only light and oneness. And the main reason we're here is to know that, to know our truth. I was born with this information. I remember knowing it always, even as a baby. I can remember being conscious as I am now, like except without the conditioning. And there was truth. So I feel I have to share this so that people can have better lives. I've spent all of my adult life exploring this and receiving guidance about the best way to let go and know, to let go of struggle and know who you really are so that you can live the life you were born to live. And I'm sharing this with you because this information led me to treasure, and it's my mission to share this map with you. And it's the essence of a happy life. And that's my desire for you to love your life and who you are. And this is why, after I share the tools to help you at the end of the webinar, I'll give you the opportunity to go deeper into your ultimate life's purpose by explaining my program to you and the 3 stages of awareness. And regarding that, all profits from the sales of the program from this webinar go towards providing a home for and caring for forgotten horses. And speaking of which, I thought I'd share this image. This is part of what I'm talking about. Animals trust you because you trust yourself. You're connected with who you are. So this is how I live my life. I'm living my deeper destiny. The picture here is an unbroken, which means untrained, stallion. Now, normally an unbroken stallion wouldn't really let you near him. And he wouldn't be this comfortable if your energy was scattered in any way. If you're not one with yourself, if you're not present, they won't let you near them because you can't fool an animal. They sense you. And he lets me I feel so privileged. He lets me lay beside him anytime because, as I say, this is my life. I'm living my deeper destiny. I'm living from beingness, from who I really am. And he senses that I'm present. So he's safe with me. I just want to share that with you because it's pertinent to what I'm talking about. So I want to explain the 2 types of purpose. First type, what you're meant to do with your life, your ideal way to live your life in flow, contributing to others, doing what lights you up. And I'm going to share an exercise to find your purpose in a bit. And so this first way includes your everyday purpose, by the way, which is constantly unfolding. And that's to do with what you're doing every day. Like even the small things that seem mundane, they're all contributing towards your purpose. It's a beautiful way to look at them. The second type of life's purpose is your ultimate purpose. It's the fundamental reason you are here. It's what I call your deeper destiny, when you're living from who you really are. Now, again, it's important to just go through a few of these. Is this how you feel? The reason I'm going through this is because when you know where you stand, you can become clear. And you can move into your life's purpose. So, you're not living your life's purpose, so you feel that something's missing from your life, and you're tired of searching for it. The energy of seeking drives you, and you don't actually feel much peace in your life. You know that you have potential, a light inside of you, an extraordinary way of being that's available, like enjoyable, free, juicy, and peaceful. And you're supposed to live a better life and be happier, but because you feel disconnected from your power and from your creator, you can't receive your highest guidance, and it hurts. Like, you know you have amazing capabilities such as infallible intuition, but you're frustrated because you don't quite know how to access them. You're a multi-layered, kind, innately powerful person who has set aside who you are because it's, seen as too much. You think differently. You're sensitive, empathic, you take on other stuff. You strive to do your best in relationships and with your health and your work, but you're frustrated because you've read so much and tried so hard to find yourself and your purpose in the past, the self-help books and the programs and the seminars, but it doesn't stick. And there's a constant sense of unease, like a background ache for a different life that you should be living. An ache for a different way of being pulls you. You feel stuck, and you know there is more to life than you're experiencing. You know you can have a life that fulfills you, where you can actually feel peace and joy. Enjoy being here on planet Earth and still feel connected to the divine, but you just don't know how to live it. You're tired of the mind chatter, tired of looking outside for yourself for fulfillment, for answers, for happiness, tired of anxiety being a companion through your life constantly. And you just want to let go of the tight grip on everything and relax into yourself. You think you need to hold it all together yourself and feel that you have to heal the world before you can allow yourself to relax, so to speak. I mean, I know you don't go around thinking that, but doesn't it feel that way sometimes? God, especially when you watch the news. That's why I don't watch the news. So you know that doing too much is causing you stress and affecting your health and well-being, and you just feel powerless and life feels heavy. You don't really trust yourself or your own power or your creator. So again, is this how you feel? You're tired of feeling disconnected from yourself, from divine intelligence, tired of feeling alone and anxious. You feel that you're swimming against the tide of life, and that very often it just seems like you're controlled by stress and mind chatter. And when you go through life with stress in the background like a low hum, it results in you feeling disconnected from yourself, your spirit, your creator, and mind chatter controls you. Because you kind of don't feel safe enough to relax into your life, as if you're waiting for permission to live the life you know is possible for you. You've had enough of doing your best all the time, making sure everyone else is happy, but no time for you. And you always seem to be looking for home, but never finding it. So how does it show up in your life? It shows up in your life through your well-being as feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. You can't relax fully, shoulders always up, feeling panicky sometimes, and there's just this kind of background sense of unease. And you're not enjoying your life. You're tired of repeating behaviors that aren't working, tired of being fearful, not being able to stop, trying to control everything around you. And there's too much being in your head and not enough being, living from your heart. And this problem also affects your business and your work expression, of course, and your purpose. You feel boxed in, like you're not expressing yourself in the way that you want to. And your true power, your creativity isn't being expressed, your being. And then in your relationships, well, you can feel a bit like an outsider. You're always the listener, but who supports you? You can give too much and then you feel unappreciated. And you may have experienced relationships with narcissists and you're kind of done with that. You can feel lonely and unseen and not understood, not listened to, and you feel sad because you don't feel that connection that you long for. You're not having the pleasure you desire. And under it all, you can just feel like you're not enough. Like, I'm not getting this. And it's just disappointing. And then the relationship with yourself. You're kind to others, but you're still habitually judging yourself, even if you're not fully aware of it. You've been doing your best for so long and you feel stressed and burdened. And you don't love yourself because you've been conditioned to feel wrong so much of the time, and this has led to a lack of self-acceptance and a general feeling of heaviness as you go through life. And the result of this is that you don't fully follow or trust your intuitive guidance, and so you aren't living your life's purpose. So, hopes and desires. If you could wave a magic wand, what would you make better? You'd turn off the mind chatter. You'd have a deep, lasting, continuous connection with your own inner divine guidance. And you'd have a way of instantly connecting with your higher self to feel your authentic self and to receive guidance with any challenges that you might be experiencing. You'd be able to experience who you really are whenever you want to. You'd be able to let go of struggle, that feeling of pushing through life, and choose to live in flow with life. You want to experience yourself and not feel fearful. You want to trust in the process of life. And you want to express your truth and creativity. You would just be. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to live like this. If you resonate with this, there is a way for you to feel the fulfillment you long for. It is possible. You don't have to give up. So, just so we know about the fundamentals, like I said before, so you know where you stand, I just want to talk about the real problem. Because if you know why you're struggling in the first place and why you're not living the life you know is available to you, then you can be aware of it and change it. So why do we struggle in general and struggle with finding our purpose? You don't trust your own capacities. You haven't acknowledged how powerful you actually are and that you can hand your life over to the divine and experienced being. And the fundamental reason why you're not living your purpose and experiencing emotional struggle is because you've forgotten who you really are. Most of us have been conditioned to feel unworthy, wrong, not enough, and powerless. And so we acquire the habit of struggle. And the struggle comes from having learned to identify with our minds and with our bodies and our thoughts and our beliefs and our accomplishments and our culture and on and on and on. But we were born with none of this. So when you come to create your life or you're searching for your purpose, you create it from a space of difficulty and limitation, not from a space of being the infinite being that you actually already are. So self-doubt and fear and anxiety take over, and these states lead to struggle because we don't like to feel uncomfortable and we resist these emotions, and that leads to further struggle. So what can you do? When we allow the uncomfortable emotions to arise without judging them as bad, we meet them in a way the energy dismantles it naturally. You don't actually have to do anything. So living from your conditioning leaves no room for inspiration because our conditioning creates a buildup of dense energy in our energy field. And when you choose to know who you really are, you can move through the energy easily and it'll fall away naturally when you stop resisting and you allow it up and out. Now, the ego and struggle and resistance, all of it, it doesn't exist at the level of your truth. I mean, wow, you can live your life more from here. That's what all of this work is about. When you take your attention away from the dense energy and resistance and you place it on your truth, your life can transform. The other part of the real problem is an over-identification with ego. That's another reason why you're not living your purpose and the cause of a lot of conflict in our lives. It's due to this over-identification with our ego. It just plays such a huge role in the lives of most people. And it's a fabrication of the mind. And it'll have us in a state of continually waiting so we can arrive at a place where life is perfect. So witnessing how the ego works and putting distance between yourself and your compulsive thoughts will make it easier to feel more peace in your everyday life. I mean, if you knew who you really were, you wouldn't feel the compulsion to control because you'd know and feel your own innate power. And you can awaken to the reality that you are and always have been the person you long to become. So over-identification with your ego results in resistance and mind chatter. That's another reason why you're not living your purpose. It could be due to resistance. One of the main reasons why we have inner conflict and that general unease in our lives is because of resistance, that distressing feeling of swimming against the tide as we push against life. And have you ever found that so often the resistance of the pain you're feeling is worse than the pain itself? Like, have you ever noticed when something's happened in your life that you don't want, there's this immediate and instantaneous reaction within you, and you meet that moment by resisting it? And it's usually a reaction of denial or rejection. And it's the denial that creates the resistance. And the resistance creates the struggle. And this is where you get stuck. The moment itself is neutral, but it's your judgment of it that creates the problem. Most of us have been raised to judge certain emotions as being bad, and it causes so much resistance that you feel. I mean, think back to a time when you allowed yourself to feel a certain emotion that you'd been holding back, like sadness, for example. Didn't it feel good when you let yourself cry? Like, it's much more natural to feel these emotions, let them up and out, rather than to put a stop to them because you've been conditioned that they're not good for you to feel. Obviously, emotions become unhealthy when they're repressed. That's not what I'm talking about. When we relax and let go of the need to change what we're feeling, oh my God, the resistance falls away and we can find ourselves feeling good. And this beautiful acceptance can lead to a joyful state of being revealed to you. And you can remember that your true state is joy and that it lies beneath the resistance. This leads me to my listening practice, which is a beautifully effective practice that brings you such clarity and lightness. And you can use it when you're feeling contracted or heavy, and it clears the cluttered energy and resistance and stress away so that you can hear the guidance that's here for you and hear it more clearly. And that's what you need to do when you're on your life's purpose path. And I really can't recommend it highly enough. You connect with the part of you that needs your loving attention. This softens your energy and you can relax more because you're not in avoidance of what's coming up for you. And it offers you the opportunity to transmute the dense energy that covers over your truth. And the glory of this is that you can experience that heavy feelings, those feelings are actually an invitation to meet yourself and integrate the energy so that you have more access to the fullness of who you are. And it can help end procrastination and the resistance that causes so-called negative feelings. Put simply, this practice can result in your feeling happy, content, and fulfilled at last. When you feel sad, frustrated, angry, heavy emotions, whatever they are, there's an energy within you that hasn't been integrated properly and it's remained stuck. You have to shine the light of your attention on it. So if you think of these parts as children shouting for your attention, until you attend to them, they won't let you move forward. So you deal with what's happening under the surface. And when you acknowledge them, the energy changes and you can feel a shift, a dismantling of old energy. And in this softness, healing and integration can happen. And they happen. It's not a concept. This is an extraordinary, beautiful, beautiful practice. So the point of this practice, just to explain it to you, that you embrace the parts of yourself that you previously resisted. So easy to do that. And then space opens up. And this happens literally on an energetic level. Understanding and release can happen. And the space is filled with light energy. And this results in two main things happening in your life. One is that your intuition can now become clearer and it'll be easier for you to connect with divine guidance. And the other is that because the resistance is reduced or eliminated, you can experience more easily a surrender of your false self. You can experience beingness and live from who you really are. Heavy emotions usually relate to past wounds. And when we place our loving attention on the part of ourselves that feels angry or hurt or fearful or stuck in procrastination or whatever it is, that energy can be transmuted. And you can continue your life feeling lighter and with that energy integrated and actually serving you. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for you to reclaim yourself through your loving attention so that you can own your life again. I have found that before you can connect with awareness, with divine love or with God, that you have to connect with yourself first. You have to love your own heart first. And if you don't acknowledge and pay attention to what's arising for you, there'll just be too much static, too much charge or heaviness. And that's why it can be so difficult to be present. There are 5 steps to this practice. 1 is acknowledge. The second one is soften to listen. The third one is, what are the words you wanted to hear? Or, what do you require from me? The 4th step is, let go and know it is so. 5th, beyond duality. First step, acknowledge. You simply notice what's coming up for you. When you acknowledge or name what's happening for you, you take your power back from it. You acknowledge it without judgment. Acknowledge it with love. And it's important, really important, not to judge the situation, because when we judge something, it's held in place energetically. And when you can allow yourself to see it in a neutral way, not right or wrong or good or bad, it can change. So what's causing you to feel this resistance? Notice, obviously you go within first and find out, you just get a feeling. Whatever's coming up for you, when there's something coming up, it's like, what's going on? You just go into the silence, go within and acknowledge it. Even if you can't name it, just acknowledging it is hugely powerful. And then you can ask yourself, what's causing you to feel this resistance? Like, notice if there's a part of yourself that you don't like, for example, or something you've been judging, or something you don't want to look at. So, like, for example, you might be feeling quite cranky. And when you stop to acknowledge this, rather than let it just go on, you realize the reason for this is because maybe your children never seem to listen to you. Now, identify the thought patterns around it. That's kind of the next part of this first step. What are the usual thoughts and feelings that arise around this situation? For example, they never listen to me. I feel so annoyed. And then I feel guilty because I love them so much. But no one ever listens to me. So that could be the thought pattern around it. You get the flavor of it. And you allow yourself to feel what it feels like to have this resistance. So the second step, soften to listen. You soften to listen and you continue to allow yourself to feel it. Now, listen, this only takes a short period of time. I know it sounds like a lot, but really and truly, it does not take long. Like, I do this in 2 minutes. So you may feel nothing at first. Just soften and allow. And instead of denying or resisting what you're feeling, you're allowing it to be felt. And you're meeting this part of yourself. And this is so important because without realizing it, you have probably been abandoning these parts. Now, it's understandable. Often to protect yourself, you'll deny something. Until it's looked at, it'll run your life and you won't be able to feel much freedom. So now soften your being and listen. Don't just stay in your head. Maybe you could do it now with me if you feel like it. Get the flavor of what's coming for you. Don't stay in your head. Listen from your body, from your heart, from your gut. If you only listen from your mind, it'll offer you, that pre-recorded story and you mightn't progress. So, yes, your story should be honored. I'm not discounting that. But I want you to experience a fresh, true energy at this point. I want you to listen without conclusion or judgment. So in other words, not to be in the past or the future, but just here now. So the energy is being transmuted in your energy field when you do this practice and in the cells of your body. And like most of the time, the feeling, if it's uncomfortable, it'll only last a minute or two when it's allowed to flow up and out, if there's no resistance put in its way. So for example, when you soften to listen to your feelings, your child within, maybe something could come up for you like, nobody loves me. Nobody understands me. I feel so alone. And you'll probably find yourself crying. Allow any emotion that wants to come out to flow. The energy will shift around your feeling centers, especially solar plexus, your kind of stomach area. around your heart, your chest, and your throat. They're really the main areas I feel it. So to continue the example of feeling annoyed because your children aren't listening to you, you've acknowledged where you stand. They never listen. I feel so annoyed, and then I feel guilty because I love them so much, but nobody ever listens to me. Now you can go deeper and keep listening. And after you do this, after you access the energy that's underneath the irritation, you understand more. You know what's at the root of what you're feeling because it's revealed to you. So for example, I'm just trying to help them, but they won't listen. Don't they realize everything I say is for their own good? I'm only trying to protect them and keep them healthy. No one ever listens to me. It's just like when I was small. No one ever listened to me then. They treated me as if I wasn't there. It was so frustrating. Nobody saw me, but I was there. I loved them, but they didn't care. Nobody loves me. So that is an example, usually done silently within you, that would come up within you. I mean, you don't have to vocalize it like that, but that kind of thought form can come up. And afterwards, you can write down your experience, especially what you learned from your child within. So obviously do this in a private space, where it's safe, and allow the grief to come up. You're witnessing it, but you're not collapsing into it. You've listened to that part of yourself that feels unloved. It would have been too painful to acknowledge as a child, and so the energy became stuck. But now you can really understand why you would have felt the strong emotions when your own children weren't listening to you. Going back to the example, this hidden covered part was being triggered. For step 3, what are the words you wanted to hear? So when you close your eyes, go within, maybe do it now. And you ask yourself this question: when you were younger, when you were a child, what are the words you wanted to hear? What did you want spoken to you? This is a simple and profound and beautiful step because you are, maybe for the first time, allowing yourself to open and ask a question so that the part of you that feels neglected or abandoned or unheard will feel listened to and witnessed. You are becoming the loving parent to the wounded parts of yourself. So now ask this part of yourself, what are the words you wanted to hear in the past? Just close your eyes. Just see what arises. Big deep breath. Let go. What are the words you wanted to hear in the past? Imagine you're with yourself as a small child. And just listen. Don't push. And be a witness to this part of you. So, for example, when you ask your child within this question, words could come up like, "You're so special. I love you so much. It's okay. Nothing is expected of you. I love you just as you are. I see how beautiful you are, and I love you so much." Or to continue the example of not being listened to, words like this might arise. "I see you. I hear you. I love you. I love you so much, and I'm here for you now. You are safe, sweetheart." And feel as much love for yourself as you can. And bask in this sweet feeling. And it's interesting to see how your outer world can change to reflect your new belief. And you can experience that people will actually start to listen to you more because you're communicating from a different space where you're more present. You're no longer communicating unconsciously from that old energy. So allow the words up, and if you need to cry, do so. And then when you feel complete, write the words down that you always wanted to hear and use them to nurture yourself whenever you need to. Offering these words will help to heal that part of you so it can integrate into your being. It's a bit deeper than healing. And it'll support you from now on because it's strong now. And then some days you'll want to ask the question, what do you require from me? So what are the words you wanted to hear? And, well, what do you require of me? Listen and then give this part of you what she asks for. It could be attention or a hug, or to be seen or heard or loved. This is part of yourself that becomes integrated into your being. And what happens is you will live more from the fullness of who you really are, like with more of the full spectrum available. You're becoming present and no longer stuck in the past. And the present moment is where the magic and the power is. My God, I can't recommend this highly enough. When this came to me and I started to do it, I'll be totally honest with you, I was actually surprised at the comforting, there was this kind of freedom that I felt viscerally in my body. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful practice. They're the first 3 steps in this tool, and it really does result in you actually feeling free and empowered. The full practice is included as a bonus in the 3 Stages Awareness Program. Just to let you know, that listening practice is about shifting from resistance to allowance. Struggle happens fundamentally because you think that you're separate from your source. You can live your purpose with ease when you open up to and receive what is being offered to you in every moment by divine love. Often when you're struggling emotionally, you feel that something bigger than you is in control. But know this, you are bigger than any situation in your life. Your capacity is huge. Trust it. You could perhaps shift your perspective. What if life was calling you to see that the heaviness and the self-doubt and the seeking and the pain and the struggle, what if their guidance toward a required shift into a new lighter way of being for you? I mean, isn't that a comforting idea? So the alternative to the habit of resisting life is to choose to allow life. Oh my God, allowance is huge. And the main way to create space for this is to trust. And then you go beyond that into pure knowing. So I believe one of the most beautiful, empowering choices we can make is to trust. Trust in the process of life. And even though it can seem scary, because it can feel as if you're going to lose control, I would suggest it anyway. It's very powerful. I mean, things happen for a reason. And very often it's your resistance to life and your need to hold on with a tight grip that creates the pain and the feeling of not living your purpose. And it's just blissful to allow, to surrender into a state of true being. So, I mean, if you're sad or angry or anxious or depressed, or you feel you're not living your purpose, please don't resist it. Just feel it. Don't collapse into it and don't identify with it. Literally just stay with it and feel open. Because the solution to suffering is to let it reveal itself to you. And the light of your awareness, your glorious, powerful awareness, will infuse the situation and change your experience of it. Things can get so heavy. The longing for a different way of being. And the pain can become so repetitive that we just think we can't take it any longer. And it's in these moments, when you're on the floor in tears, barely able or wanting to breathe, that a loving presence beckons you. It's in these moments when your indomitable spirit is calling you to awaken. When you meet this call, you can see that struggle can be seen as a catalyst for awakening. Now, I want to move to mind chatter, because I think it's important to be more aware of mind chatter, because your life becomes so much more enjoyable when you stop judging and comparing and fearing and worrying about everything. When you can let go of the constant stream of analysis and chatter that runs alongside your experience, space is opened up and you can simply live in the present moment, which is where the peace and the joy is, without letting your mind escape to the past or the future. Worry about the future or regret the past. So it means you can have the experience itself rather than getting lost in your judgments about it. So another cause of struggle is mind chatter and our resistance to it. So, there's no need to make a problem of it. Don't resent it for getting in the way of your inner peace. Just acknowledge it and choose where to place your attention. Because it has us powerless. You can really feel lost, and it's usually because your mind isn't quiet. You can feel as if the problem that you're having is holding you captive, and that you'll have no power until a solution is to be found. So you think and think and think and try to figure it out, and this develops in a loop of mind chatter. So you need to get out of your own way and realize that you're powerful and you can hear the guidance of your intuition. Most people have a constant stream of thoughts, like a voice in their head, and they identify with this. They're not aware of it. And they mistake this voice for their true selves. Instead of focusing on the chatter, they could be focusing on the glorious spaciousness of who they really are. I mean, imagine if you released yourself from always being on guard, from being in survival mode. You'd realize these negative states, so-called negative states, merely cover over your true nature. To experience this, I'll give you a couple of practices that you can use. When you let go of identifying with your thoughts, you can begin to open yourself up to the idea that the thinker is not who you are. You are the awareness beyond thought. You won't be able to think your way home. It's just too frustrating to try. Feel it instead. Allow the experience of your true self to well up and emerge. Your mind will serve you by evaluating everything, and when you realize this, you can stop resisting the chatter and instead be grateful and begin to develop a new relationship with your mind by guiding it rather than trying to fight it. And one of the simplest and most powerful paths to freedom is to practice observing your thoughts for a period of time every day. You can choose a suitable time in your day, set aside 2-3 minutes, and allow yourself to experience the truth that you are not the voice in your head, but the one who witnesses it, the one who's aware of it. You may have spent your life identifying with the thoughts and the beliefs that you have. So in order to free yourself from this pattern, you need to experience that you are not your thoughts. So with your eyes open or closed, whatever suits you, begin to become more aware of your thoughts. Without engaging or evaluating, just notice that your thoughts are separate from yourself. Notice that there is distance between you and your thoughts. And experience this space between yourself and your thoughts. And this enables you to feel more powerful. Whereas before you may have felt consumed by your thoughts. By witnessing them, you can experience how you are not your mind or your thoughts. And you can begin to feel your true self. The joy that you are, the love that you are becomes covered over because you think your thoughts are true and you give them too much power. But when you feel this distance, it becomes much easier to begin to connect with who you really are and what you want to see in your life. So quick tip, rather than feeling victim of the chatter, why not use your mind chatter constructively? And the next time you see yourself being carried along by a train of thought that doesn't feel good, just stop and decide to use the chatter itself as a reminder. Use it to go within and come back into who you really are. So, see through it. Most of the thoughts we have are repetitive, judging ourselves, dwelling on regret, shame, guilt, blame. They'll keep us in a negative state. So it's really interesting to notice that it's impossible to be in any of these states while you occupy the present moment. So the next time that you find yourself having regrets or guilt about the past or worrying about the future, become aware of this draw away from the present moment and just see through it. The very act of witnessing how you dwell in the past or the future will give you the opportunity to change. And remember, your point of power is in the present moment. It's the only place where life happens. It's the only place you can create from. You encounter yourself, your true self, in stillness and peace and joy. When you do this, you'll no longer feel separate from your source, and you realize that it was always present, just hidden, and that it's safe to let go of the searching and know this truth. You are magnificent. You can let go of struggle and know who you really are. You can just be. Allow your being to shine and dissolve the mental chatter. See through it, because just beneath it lies freedom. Now I want to share an important point about the trap spiritual seekers fall into, because perpetual seeking can actually get in the way of your happiness and living your life's purpose. Because when you're on the path of awakening to who you really are, so that you find your purpose, the first stage is crucial. It involves becoming aware. This is the first stage, becoming aware of what you're doing to block your own truth. So, I mean, connecting to awareness is actually simple because it's your natural state. It's important that you let go of your allegiance to your false self. Like, it's not your fault that you're loyal to your false self. Most people are. But it is important to just shine the light of awareness on it so that you can let go of that allegiance and instead focus your attention on who you really are. Because the pattern of your ego will always have you seek out feelings that make you feel more complete. But always you'll end up having to leave, the person, the place, the occupation, and you'll end up feeling lost again. But if you allow this belief that you need to look outside yourself for fulfillment to be enveloped by your awareness, you will realize that the source of the feeling you long for lives within you. When you feel the truth of this, you need never feel lost or empty again, because perfect being already lives within your every cell. The beingness you long for already lives within you. I mean, fundamentally, you're looking for happiness, maybe in the guise of a relationship or a particular life's purpose that you think you should be living, whatever. You're looking for happiness, but actually just beneath that, it's beingness you're looking for. And being aware of this is so absolutely, hugely important. You're looking for that glorious, expansive state of divine love that you are. And again, that's why you're resonating with it, because it's your truth. And this can be really difficult to accept because we haven't been conditioned to know that joy and fulfillment live within us. Because the searching itself, including searching for your purpose, can become a problem and a block to your being able to allow your true self to be felt. And we suffer when we don't realize how powerful we really are. We are children of the universe with everything we could ever need available to us. So, I mean, when you think about who you are, sometimes it's helpful to consider who you are not. You may think that your conditioned self is who you are, that you're your body, your mind, your thoughts. It may seem it's your true identity, but nothing could be further from the truth. The beliefs about how the world works, who we think we are, and life in general have been programmed into our subconscious. From birth to the age of 6 or 7, we have no filters for the information that we absorb because we're in a state of hypnosis. So you take on the beliefs of parents and teachers and siblings and society in general, the environment, the TV, newspapers, everything that surrounds you. And it all contributes towards forming your beliefs about how life works. And these beliefs cause you to forget who you really are. Then you suffer. You adopt a false self. You no longer feel at one with everything as you did when you were a small child. You can't feel who you really are. So, of course, this will have you feeling that you're not living your life's purpose. And the magic of your true self lies beneath this conditioned reality. And when you allow yourself to touch it and ultimately be it, your life will change beyond your imagination. Allow yourself to stop doing and thinking for a moment. What remains? Allow your true self to be felt. The relief is exquisite. It's like, oh, here I am. I was here all along. So the solution, let go and know. Let go of struggle and know who you really are. And live from here so that you can live your deeper destiny. Love is in the space of everything. It is the glue that holds everything together. You are that love and beyond. Open to this and you open to your deeper destiny. Receive yourself so that you may live your life's purpose and allow your soul to embrace you, to love you into beingness and know your truth. So, connecting to awareness. Juicy! Stage 2 of the 3 stages of awareness is connecting to awareness. The first stage is becoming aware. Now, your intuition, or what I like to call the whisperings of awareness. So if it's your desire to find your life's purpose and your deeper destiny, I mean, not to mention create more joy and excitement and fulfilling work and wonderful relationships and wealth and vibrant health, if that's your desire, then it would really benefit you to become aware and focus more on an ever-present stream of guidance that comes from the divine. And this is your intuition. There is a sea of awareness that is divine love or God, and it speaks to you through intuition and knowing. Your intuition is guidance that comes from your creator, from source, through your authentic self. And it's so refreshing and powerful because it has nothing to do with the usual fears and limiting beliefs that you normally experience. It is the voice of unconditional love. So how to identify your intuition? You'll usually receive a feeling in your heart or get a gut feeling. So that'll be chest or solar plexus. And it's very important to stay aware and let your mind become blank and just allow the insight to happen. Don't think and just allow. So a very simple method to see what's the right course of action to take. If something feels good, doesn't it make sense that that would be the right path for you to take? And if it feels bad, then you might reconsider. When something feels good or you're feeling light, what's actually happening is you're aligning with your true nature. And I mean genuinely good, a high vibration, not like numbing out with things that momentarily feel good but are bad for you. Because your true nature is to feel good. And if it feels bad, then that's great guidance too. You can go in the other direction. And always remember to take action on the insights that you receive. And trust your knowing, hugely important. So how to identify your intuition? Have you ever wondered what's the difference between your intuition and that egoic voice in your head? That chattery voice is fear-based and the energy around it will feel heavy. So you will know your intuition by the nature of its guidance. It's a loving, quiet, gentle voice that comes from stillness. The guidance that you receive will usually be accompanied by a sense of knowing and a feeling of peacefulness. It'll feel light and it will reveal to you what you need to know. Intuition is a powerful gift, there to guide you to let go and know who you really are. This is about listening to a deeper place within you so that you don't become lost in this reality. And your intuitive insight will lead you to the greatest version of yourself. It will lead you to your purpose. So, just to be aware of a few things. Remember that your guidance is always available to you, but when you're stressed, it'll be blocked from your awareness. When you're relaxed, you can pick up on the frequency of your intuition, just like tuning into your favorite radio station. It's like aligning to the wave the information is carried on. And another thing that prevents us from receiving guidance about our purpose or an issue we're having is doubt. You know self-doubt doesn't serve you, it stifles you. You're not meant to live with doubt. So clear the resistance so that you can make space to hear your intuitive guidance. And the letting go tools and listening practices, they eliminate the charge, the clouds, or obstruct your knowing and connection with yourself, with your source. You can live your life in full connection with your guidance so that you can move through life on purpose in everything you do. I mean, getting up in the morning, being with your children, preparing your meals, doing nothing, like looking at the grass. It can all be on purpose. It can all be your choice so that you don't feel carried along by that egoic voice. And you can allow your intuition to guide your every move. Like, it's so exciting and magnificent, the support that's there for us. What would it feel like for you to step forward and walk through your life only taking inspired action that would serve your highest good? That's living on purpose. So, practices for connecting with awareness. One of the tools I received through my divine download, so to speak, was a magically simple tool that you can use to connect with who you really are and with source so that you can receive guidance from that space. I call it light writing, and it changed my life. This practice is so comforting and it brings such clarity. Light writing can help you live from presence rather than from the struggle and the doubt. And when we allow awareness to be our companion through our everyday lives, revelations about ourselves and life can occur regularly and can lead us to freedom. When you ask questions from a space of light, you can receive insights from that space, from the light. It's funny, have you ever noticed why you might be drawn to light sparkles? I bet I'm not the only one. Like sunlight on water, or, even sparkly jewelry, or dew on the grass, in the morning. I feel it's because you're just aligning with what you're made from already. It's like a remembrance. So anyway, you could write down your issue in a question and answer form. You're reconnecting with the awareness of who you really are, and you're drawing that into your everyday life, and know that guidance will come. You can become present so that your awareness, isn't scattered. So move your awareness into your body, down from your head into your heart. And this is where you connect from. It stops the mental conversation that's probably been taking you along with it. And you can feel this beautiful relief in meeting this divine aspect of yourself. You're totally loved and supported. Allow it to reveal to you the truth about who you really are. Align and integrate with the light of your spirit. So this goes beyond journaling, in that you're consciously choosing to connect with the light of your awareness, your spirit. You're receiving information, love and support from this expanded, sacred space. If you desire to find out your life's purpose, you can use this tool to do so. Or if you have a problem, this is what I'm saying. You need to connect with your spirit, with the field of awareness, because your mind can't help you with an issue or to find your life's purpose really conclusively, because your mind can only offer you information based on your past. But your spirit has full knowledge about who you are and why you're here, because you're not separate. It's all one. So you have access to this. And of course it can offer you guidance about your purpose or any problem that you're having with grace and ease. It enables you to consciously receive love and light and communication from your higher self, source, your angels. You come home to the sanctuary of your spirit through light writing. And it becomes easy to receive guidance when you surrender. I really want to get this point across. Through surrender to your soul's wisdom, you shift into a higher awareness, and your mind, physical body, your spirit become integrated, become one. And when you feel this completedness, you relax into a flow where you can receive guidance with ease, because there's no perception of separation any longer. And you can give your mind a rest and trust that this light will carry the perfect grace-filled response to your question and requests. Magic comes through this alignment with the light. You're opening up a space where you can meet yourself in wholeness. Put simply, when we relax and listen, troubling circumstances in our lives can be untangled. And you could discover your life's purpose. So now, I want to give you an exercise to find your life's purpose. This is an exercise, it's so good. I receive great clarity through light writing. And there's a simple process that I have in my program to do with realizing that your past has a function in revealing your life's purpose. I mean, it's just so great to be clear. It was fascinating, how this came to me. One day while I was light writing, I was guided to sense the overall emotions and repeating experiences of my childhood. So several memories came up, and I knew they were significant because they related to each other. So I offered no resistance, and the energy came up and out. Now, I did cry, but it wasn't a kind of a wallow in the memory of it type of cry. My body just felt like crying. So it was definitely a release. And I knew something significant had happened. And I remember I looked around to see if I could access that emotion again or the energy again. I couldn't. And I realized in that moment that the energy had left the cells of my body because there was no charge anymore. Now, the insight then came to me that this was all connected to my personal power And I became very excited because I had identified, just during this light writing session that only lasted about 15 minutes, 2 areas of my childhood that had affected me greatly because they were denied to me. There were 2 areas in my childhood that were denied to me. Those 2 were power and expression. So while light writing, I was guided. I knew that you can choose the opposite of what you experienced, what was denied to you in your childhood. And this is a signpost towards your life's purpose. Just wait until you do this. It's so thrilling to finally discover what your main lesson is and therefore what your life's purpose is. It's just so comforting to know that your past has a function in revealing your life's purpose. So you can sense the overall emotions and repeating experiences of your childhood. Think back to your childhood. Like, what were the 3 main events or feelings or kind of energy that come to mind? And you don't resist, you just allow the energy to come up and out. You can choose the opposite then of what you experienced, what was denied to you in your childhood. And this is a signpost, as I say, towards your life's purpose. And you can let go of your attachment to fear. Like, you don't focus on your fear, but on your passion, like what lights you up, and let your heart be your guide. So to use me as an example, my 2 areas were expression and power. I had a very strict upbringing. Absolutely was not allowed to express myself or have any power in any way. Very often not allowed to speak or laugh. It was kind of a Victorian childhood. Now I'm living my life's purpose, where I'm expressing myself, expressing who I am and standing in my power, while helping others to express who they are and stand in their power so they can live the life they love. I mean, can you see what an effective tool this is for you to come out of the fog and know where you stand? There's an infinite supply of love and support available for you now. And what would your life be like if you decided to connect with it? Now, I am going to share what I call the ultimate fulfillment. It's something very special. What I'm going to share now is the heart of my work. It's one of the 3 tools I was given by Spirit, and it's an honor to share this with you. It's a gift I've been shown as the key to experiencing who you really are. It changed my life, and it can change yours. I have found this to be the ultimate practice. It encompasses everything in the let go and know process. If you want a way to end the constant figuring out and be able to melt into your own being, this is it. So, what does fallback mean? It's the foundation for a happy life, where you're living your deeper destiny. It's the how-to of experiencing being. The experience of fallback allows you to be. While I was on this quest, when I thought I had to rediscover the truth, I remember that a recurring thought used to present itself. I used to wonder whether or not all the reading and studies and experimenting and searching and learning that I'd been doing was adding to a state of perpetual seeking and figuring out. And even though, obviously, the ongoing journey was really rewarding and fascinating and exciting, I kept feeling that I could find what I was looking for in a simpler way. I knew that I needed to unlearn what I had absorbed, conditioning, and all that. And I knew that too much learning can cloud what's true, and it can actually get in the way of true knowing. So when I realized this, I opened up a space, and the most profound and beautiful awareness revealed itself to me. I knew what to do. More accurately, how to be. And the words fall back were communicated to me. And they unfurled in my mind and my being over a period of time. And it felt hugely significant. It's a simple, profound, divine surrender, where you finally surrender to love. And in no way are you giving up, by the way. If you're giving up anything, it's your loyalty to your false self. And it's such a beautiful, soft, powerful surrender into who you really are. When I fell back after years of climbing to get the answer, I felt total peace. I was free, beyond words or labels. And it was so subtle. It was like I'd melted into my being. I fell back into presence, into love, into myself, into the embrace of truth. I fell back home. I had found what I'd been looking for. Here, things don't matter. There's only love. I and me don't exist. They're just thoughts. And problems become difficult to hold on to as you realize they're not personal. Like the labels you have, your age, your occupation, and all of that, they're meaningless in relation to the magnificence of who you really are. You are loved, free, and whole. You're falling back into who you really are, into beingness. You're no longer identifying with the ego as you fall back into the now. You are touching awareness. You go within to your quiet, wondrous space. You rest in calm, effortless surrender. Rest in your truth. Here you are divine. And you just allow this to happen. It's so simple. Fall back so that you're in a state of complete relaxation, emotional, mental, and physical. Fall back into awareness, into yourself, into consciousness, into love. And remember, this practice takes no time at all, because the state you enter exists already. And what seems so real, your ego, your thoughts, your need to control so that you feel safe, all of that is a false identity. It's a filter through which you live your life. And you've been mistaking that for your true self. When you focus your attention on your own truth, all of that control and need and fear disappears into insignificance. The ultimate fulfillment is being who you really are and living from awareness, while at the same time being anchored in your physical body. You're at home in the physical and at home in spirit. Your spirit, mind, body, and heart are all aligned. And when you choose to live from awareness, from the extended state of fallback, you're surrendering to love. When you let go of being consumed by and identifying with the dream, what isn't real, what is revealed is awareness, who you really are, and you can simply be. When you make it your practice to fall back, you align with who you really are, and your life in the physical becomes magical because it's your deeper destiny. I remember I fell back once. I was going through a pretty hard time. A lot was happening in my life. It was years ago. And oh, by the way, I want to say you will do this time and time again. I want to be clear, it's not a wave of magic wand and everything's perfect. But that being said, you do it, and every single time, oh God, it's not do it, it's be it. Every single time you release and get lighter and lighter and lighter, and it gets more and more delicious. I just want to say that. But I remember doing it once, I think it was the second time, or as I should say, being it. And I fell back because I was going through a very rough time in my life. There's just so much stuff happening externally. And I thought, I have to fall back. It's the only answer. And I did. Seconds. Like seconds. It only takes seconds. It's instantaneous. That's what I said. It exists already and you fall back into it. But I remember saying to my husband, I could win the lottery, I don't know what I said, 3 times over. And it wouldn't even come close to touch what I'm feeling now. So the last part of the 3 stages of awareness is when you realize what your deeper destiny is. When you live mainly from an extended state of fallback. It's when you choose to be pure and simple. It's beyond the beyond. It's awakening from awakening. It's a journey where you realize that what you wanted all along was yourself, but one with your spirit, with source. The love that you are transmutes everything. It transmutes your past for you. It integrates it for you. You know that you're connected to your source, so you don't feel overwhelmed and small anymore. You know it's just an illusion. And life can become smooth because there's no more resistance. As you allow your emotions to come up and out, you allow pleasure in your life. You love your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. You feel home now, and you know that everything is within you now. You can play in the dream of reality without being attached to it. You can really let go of struggle and enjoy your life. Going beyond the dream is the ultimate journey. Choosing your deeper destiny is your home. So I want to now talk about the results of choosing to fall back and live your deeper destiny. So what if you could experience these results? You let go of struggle and you know who you really are by living your deeper destiny. And this results in you loving who you are and loving your life. You experience a deep and continuous connection with your own inner divine guidance, receiving light guidance from your higher self, your guides, your creator, so that you can know the breathtaking power of your intuition to transform your life. And you feel so fulfilled because of this connection, relieved, free, and joyful. And when you're living from who you really are, you're at peace with yourself. You feel poised and strong and balanced and supported and connected with who you really are and with your source. That feeling of, I finally found what I'm looking for. Your life can change because you're living from a different space and negativity doesn't resonate with presence, doesn't resonate with your truth. You feel the bliss of being totally supported. You become aware of what's limiting you and you can be free. You allow yourself to shine and to live the life you know you're supposed to live without feeling in the grip of anxiety, mind chatter, doubt or fear. And the feeling of bliss when you realize that you don't need to hold it all together yourself. And you allow yourself to be supported by life and you can let go and relax and be. It's just divine. So you feel more relaxed, happy, smile more often, feel radiant and free, secure within yourself and your connection to the divine. Like it's not a concept anymore. It's real for you because you don't feel separate anymore. You're being yourself. You feel pleasure in the simplest things. And you just feel tickled pink by life, even if you're doing nothing, which is very important, isn't it? It's very important to do nothing sometimes, especially out in nature. And in relationships can transform because you feel so fulfilled. The relationship with your partner, family, children, friends, clients, and then not even with people, but for example, with money, your relationship with food, with yourself, with your source, everything changes. And then creativity. Even if you think you aren't creative, you open the portal to access your innate creativity. So what has been covered over and perhaps difficult to access becomes visible right there. And you realize it's here for you because creativity is intrinsically a part of who you are. So even if you think you're not creative, I'm here to tell you that you are innately creative. And even though I feel a bit weird about saying this, I don't mean to be egotistical, but I'm kind of qualified to say this. I know in my heart you are, but also I studied history of art. I worked in fine art auctioneering. I managed an art gallery. I've been a painter for all of my adult life. None of that matters. All that really matters is your connection to who you really are. Your intuition and inspiration come from the same realm. I realized that just a couple of years ago. And even though it's like, yes, obvious, it's like, oh my God, intuition and inspiration come from the same realm. And it's all right here for you. The people I work with are delighted by this. They've written books and started to follow their dream of singing, started their own businesses and on and on. Actually, I'll give you a couple of experiences from my own life. They're kind of too many to count, but I remember, I'm talking about, receiving inspiration. I remember I was in front of the easel and I could kind of feel a little bit of frustration rising. So I knew to remind myself of the connection to my higher self, to the divine. And I chose to allow it through me. And I felt expansive and free. And without thinking, I picked up a pair of knickers and I moved them over, panties, yes. And I moved them over the canvas really quickly. I just allowed my arm to move over the canvas without knowing intellectually what I was doing. And after a bit, I took away my hand and the most beautiful painting was before me. And I only had to tweak it in a couple of places. It was just absolutely wow. By the way, I wasn't wearing the knickers. I was using them as a rag, just so that we're clear about that. But what I'm talking about is allowing the inspiration to come, and God knows what's going to happen. You just create the most beautiful. Actually, a few months ago, I opened up to writing poetry because I've practiced this. So there was no, what I'm talking about, I just realized it was the truth. So there was no fear, there was no frustration or judgment as to how difficult it would be or what if it was no good, the voices that people usually experience. There was none of that. It didn't exist. It doesn't exist when you're present and poised and making what I call a pure choice. So I made a pure choice, right? There we go. I ended up writing 30 poems in a couple of weeks. Now I'm a mother and I have a lot to do with my work and so on. So I just sat down in stillness every morning and it came to me. And before I knew it, I'd written a book of poetry. And it was, I say so myself, it was beautiful. This is available for you too. You're not separate from it. Never for one moment think that you're not creative. Creativity is intrinsically a part of who you are. So whatever, different types of creativity, whatever you're drawn to, whatever you fancy, you'll know, like writing a book, painting, jewelry making, playing an instrument. You might be called to be a raw chef or use sound vibration in healing others. You'll be guided. That's the point. You'll be guided. And you create and express yourself for the joy of it without judgment. More results. You're so aligned with your truth that stress is greatly reduced, which affects your health hugely. You're naturally drawn towards making positive changes in your health effortlessly. Effortlessly. I'm really into health, I have to say. You're aligned with your purpose and creativity, so you become more willing to receive for your gifts. You can move from doing to being, from wanting to having, to move from your head to your heart and fully embrace your feminine energy. Gorgeous balance between feminine and masculine, the conscious feminine and masculine. God, so powerful. You learn to live from your most joyful, relaxed state, feeling free to stand in your intrinsic power and express who you really are. And with this glorious shift comes the love that you long for. So, more results. You can realize what your deeper destiny is. Fundamentally, you fulfill the reason you came here. You can start to actually experience and live this truth rather than feeling that you have to always search through the self-improvement shelves of the bookstore in order to find the answer. Living from awareness is your deeper destiny. It feels so expansive because it's who you really are. You can finally come home to yourself. I have a deep desire for you to experience your light life, the way of being that's available for you. I know you've tried so much and I know why it hasn't given you what you've wanted. And I know what you need to do to have the answer. I was gifted with 3 main tools. One takes approximately 1 minute to move from stress to beingness. The other tool can be used every day to serve to connect you with your inner guidance. And the third takes no time to shift into a state of blissful being. And this beautifully powerful technique instantly brings you back to your true being so that you can continue your day in a state of allowance rather than resistance. And the struggle falls away naturally when you stop resisting and you are revealed to yourself. And then you can easily deal with challenges from this powerful, loving, supportive space. These 3 tools are covered in the 3 stages of awareness program. And that's what I want to share with you. The benefits of this program can be lifelong. It can help you to connect with and receive light guidance, as I call it, from your higher self, from your guides, from divine intelligence, so that you can know the breathtaking power of your intuition to transform your life. You can discover your life's purpose and live your life from who you really are, from oneness. Be present, let go of the past, allow yourself to be supported by life. You can let go of struggle and allow yourself to shine and to live the life you know you were born to live. To realize your deeper destiny, fundamentally, you fulfill the reason you came here. To move from doing to being, from wanting to having, to move from your head to your heart and fully embrace your feminine energy, to learn to regain presence rather than control. To learn to live from your most joyful and relaxed state, feeling free to stand in your own intrinsic power and be yourself. To use 2 of the most powerful words in existence to bring forth what you choose to have and be in your life. And to finally come home to yourself. Now, I've worked with many people to guide them to discover their deeper destiny. And I've received, I must say, wonderful feedback about the program. So you can kind of skip through these yourself, but I'm very honored and humbled. I must say I normally wouldn't share this, but just to give you an idea, I always like to, read testimonials myself if I'm buying something, no matter what it is. So Jennifer says that she's done all the big name programs, but this one, it's unique. I bring such lightness to it all, make it fun. She felt that something was missing from her life, and now there are no words to explain how she feels now. She's free, she's living it, she knows who she is. She had read about it, but now I feel it. Oh my God, Marianne, you've made my life. It's just so sweet. So you can read through these yourself, quite literally awaken my knowing, brought alive experiences in me, realize my calling and gifts, soulfully magical experience, it's hard for me to put into words, awakened my intuition to a whole new level, embracing these parts leading to an expansion and fulfillment in every area. So grateful she created the program. Her teaching is so powerful because she knows it firsthand. I could tell by listening to her she didn't learn it from somebody else. She knows these things from her childhood. As a result, it's easier for me to live from who I really am. Recommend her teaching. This program gave me such value. She cuts through the bull so that she got it, balancing the masculine and feminine, felt it in her body, conversational and easy. I really felt like I was being set free, Dr. Caroline says. Marianne's program brought me insight to my behaviors and actions. I stopped questioning and accepted that divine love is in control. I feel so loved. They're so lovely. If only I'd known this before, the stress and the chaos of the last few months, I can already feel the difference and know the truth of it. From Ross in Australia. Love, kindness, strength. Marianne's work is deep, very rich. It's boiled down to the essence. Simple. This is the best investment I ever made. She exudes what she teaches. Marianne's mesmerizing. I get chills when she speaks. I have to stop because there's a shift happening while I'm doing the exercises. Marianne is a true vibration. Clear and true. Her voice carries truth and cuts through the veils of illusion. It's just gorgeous. I feel very humbled, I have to say. I do feel very humbled. So that being said, you may have objections. For example, will this work for me? I've tried a lot of things and I still feel I haven't found what I'm looking for. I don't want to be disappointed again. Well, what I'd say to that is, I totally understand. I've been there. I have been through the search for my true path and out the other side. I've tried the techniques and most didn't work for me. It is so frustrating and you just wonder, should you give up? This program is different because it brings you a step at a time towards yourself. And that's what you're looking for, the bliss and peace of finally coming home to yourself and being able to experience a real continuous connection with Source. You can do this. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You can have this if you're willing to allow it. I take a stand for your potential, the possibilities available for you. And this profound change is not a quick fix, by the way. It won't work for you if you don't follow the steps. When you make some time to allow yourself to be guided through the 3 Stages of Awareness program, then you can experience the connection you long for. It's within you now, waiting to blossom in your life as your life. If this is resonating with you, I would say trust your intuition. So this is the fastest path to finding what you're looking for. Because it's structured, your ego is acknowledged and guided so it feels safe enough to allow your new life to happen, what I call your light life. My gift is that I have total confidence in your ability to do this, so you can lean on that confidence. I've been through this and out the other side, so I can guide you. This program was created from a space of connection with spirit, from knowing and love. If this resonates with you and you would like to finally know who you really are, find your life's purpose and your deeper destiny, then I invite you to enroll in this 3 Stages of Awareness program now by clicking the button under this video. So let me tell you what is included. Stage 1, as I said, becoming aware. Part 1 is why do we struggle? Part 2, letting go of struggle. Part 3, awakening to who you really are. So this is kind of like setting the foundation for what's to come in stage 2, which is connecting with awareness. So part 1 of that stage is light writing. Part 2, the 7 steps from stress to beingness. Part 3, fall back. And then stage 3, living from awareness. Part 1, beyond duality. Part 2, beyond intention. Part 3, beyond the dream, your deeper destiny. So the whole program is leading towards your deeper destiny. The 3 Stages of Awareness program will help you to let go of struggling through life by guiding you through the 3 stages of awareness so that you can know more intimately the beauty of your true self and connect with your highest guidance. And then you can live from a space of who you really are. So throughout this program, I'll show you step by step how to implement the 3 stages so you can become clear in your life. As I said, the first stage of the program, becoming aware, deals with why you're struggling in the first place, making it easier to let go of it, and then open up to your truth. This gives you the powerful opportunity to know where you stand so that you can move forward with clarity into the second stage, which is connecting with awareness, where I share with you 3 special tools, practices that you can use to connect with your higher self and your creator so that you can connect directly with your light guidance so that you can receive guidance, answers, awareness about what's challenging you in your life, and also so that you can discover your life's purpose. And you can come away with the tools that you need to continue on the path to discovering and living from the space of who you really are. And you can feel the freedom from my showing you how to transmute your scattered energy into a focused practice that'll save you so much time. I mean, this took me years to put together, and I really, really want to save you that. So this stage is really exciting and fulfilling because you begin to align with your truth and really feel at one with yourself. And you need never feel lonely when you know that you are one with your true self and with divine love. When you know that it's always available for you to connect with and receive guidance from regarding your everyday life and your life's purpose. And in this stage, as well as connecting with your inner guidance, you will explore beingness. These tools open up your awareness so that you move beyond duality and really experience that you're not your mind, your thoughts, or your physical body, and that you are separate from the negativity you experience. And these glorious, delicious practices bring you into your heart and your creative power so that you can find your life's purpose and have your relationships, your health, your finances flow in a very positive way. And in the third stage of the program, living from awareness, you learn how to create your life from this space of awareness, from this awareness of who you really are, from oneness, not from duality, desperation, and lack. So we explore moving beyond the law of attraction by making a pure choice and embodying your desire from a space of who you really are. And one of the ways we can do this is by using the two most powerful words in existence. And when you live from awareness, you can realize and live from your deeper destiny. This is the ultimate fulfillment. Everything in your life can fall into place when you come home to yourself and live your deeper destiny. You will feel the most fulfilling feeling. Divine love, the love of your own being. So, here's what to expect when you enroll in the 3 Stages of Awareness program. It's a 12-week online course that you do at your own pace. Some do it in a week or 2. It's entirely up to you. You'll receive an action sheet each week that will contain the information that you need for that week. An audio explaining what you need to know for that stage, including any tools or bonus meditations that are pertinent for that week, and your home play assignment for that week. And you can fill in on your program workbook. And then in option 2, if you want to go for that, you'll be guided personal consultations with me throughout the whole program, virtual consultations, so you can be anywhere in the world, every 10 days. And each week will build upon the previous one, guiding you to the final stage, living from awareness, your deeper destiny. So the Becoming Aware listening practice is also included, as I mentioned. That is just such a special practice. And there's a special bonus added, your daily well-being practice. This is a special map to support you every day from now on, to support your mind, your body, and your soul. And it contains the best practices that I have researched and used over the past 25 years. I'm very passionate about health, and I have all of these amazing, simple, tools and things that literally took me 25 years to learn. Put them all down there. It's an amazing bonus in and of itself. So the program is paced in a specific way. After you enroll, you can download the program, have instant access to it no matter where you are in the world, and you can begin your adventure. And the course materials will be available for you forever, so you can access them anytime you want. And there's a limited time massive discount only available here for those who attend this webinar. Only for you, can't be found anywhere else. And as I said before, it's a win-win, because all the profits from the sales of the 3 Stages of Awareness program from this webinar go towards providing a home and caring for forgotten horses. Your purchase will fund Free to Be Horse Sanctuary. So yay about that. The time has come. You, my friend, sent out a call, and I heard it. I'm here to support you, to take a stand for you, for your life, where you stand in your power and express who you really are and create from an open channel. If you're ready to let go of struggle, ready to step into your power and your truth, ready to experience and express who you really are, so that you can feel connected, witness, fulfilled, creative, have fun. If you're ready to end the search and come home to yourself, then click on the button under this video now. Now, just to tell you, the link will take you to PayPal site where you can log in and pay securely using your PayPal account. Now, if you don't have a PayPal account, you can pay by credit card. Now, just to tell you, that's just a screenshot there. It's not a clickable link. It's just a screenshot I thought I'd put there of what's going to appear when you click the link under this video presentation. And then you can sign in and pay. So I want to thank you. This is one of my girls in her poised meditation pose. I do from my heart want to thank you so much for being with me. I trust you're here for a reason. And my desire for you is that you live your deeper destiny, the life and way of being that you deserve. I can't wait to connect. All my love.